The browser assistant does not contain a menu, but it contains toolbar buttons that allow you to manipulate, modify, plot or print signals. At the top left of the toolbar is a drop-down which you can use to append or replace or use new windows and sub-windows to plot signals from different simulation run directories with the results browser. Following that, we have two plotting buttons. You can select a signal or signals and click the plot signals button to send them to the waveform display. You can click the plot signal from all DBs button to plot all the waveform signals present in all the open results directories. This helps to compare the signals that are common to all the open results directories. Clicking the Send to Table button sends the numerical data to a results display window. For instance, you can see the data of a signal at every transient time point in a column format. Clicking the Send to Calculator button sends the signal expression to the calculator buffer where you can manipulate it with the calculator functions. Following that, we have the buttons that allow you to traverse between different directories. Let's go to the next slide and look at the buttons in the second row. In the row below, on the left side, we have the diff of two signals button that prompts you to select the second signal and then send the difference waveform to the display. Now when you select a signal and click on Y versus Y button, it prompts you to select a second signal, and when you do that, a plot of the two is created with the first signal on the vertical axis and the second signal on the horizontal axis. You can click on the Select Sweep Data button to set sweep ranges in the form that comes up. You can set the color of the different signals you want to display by clicking on the Change Color of Signals button and choosing the color for displaying specific signals from the Select Color form that you can see on the slide. For AC results, the browser modifies itself to accommodate additional drop-down list for graph type and graph modifier. The current simulation directory is loaded, and to browse for more simulation directories or to select from a waveform DB, you can click the button next to it. In the bottom portion of the browser, different types of signals are represented by different icons next to their names. The defaults for signal representations are shown on the slide, where you can see the icons for different signals. The color of these signals can be changed in the Select Color form that you can see here. This form can be accessed by clicking the Change Color of Signals button on the browser. So how do we select signals in the browser? Signals are located in the corresponding directories based on the type of analysis. You can select the directory and click on the Open Results button, or use the tree structure. You can click on the plus sign to expand the directory structure. Alternatively, you can simply double-click the directory to expand it. When you do that, the bottom pane displays available signal information. You can use filter options that are available at the bottom of the browser to filter signals in the current folder. You can use the pull-down menu to choose the type of signal to search for. Now in the filter options section, there is an option at the bottom called Show Hierarchical Nodes, and enabling this option displays folders containing signals. You can search signals by specifying the search pattern using shell or regular expressions and choosing to match the case also, because they are case-sensitive filters. Let's look at the context-sensitive menu for signals in the browser. So right-clicking on any of the signals in the bottom pane will bring up a context-sensitive menu that provides you access with most of the toolbar buttons, along with even export options. You can use the Send to Export List option to select signals from one or multiple directories and export them in a common CSV file. You can use this feature to save waveforms from different hierarchies in one file. So we look at this more on the next slide. Among others, you can even plot directly, send the signal to the calculator, send its numerical information to a table, etc. using the right-click options over here. You can export waveforms to one database from different hierarchies using the Send to Export List option to open a form called Waveforms to be exported. The location where it's going to be exported is specified on this form. You can also specify the DB name in the file name field. Also, you can choose to add or overwrite contents to an already exported DB. Signals with the same name will be overwritten if exporting a VCSV file. Signals with the same name and analysis will be overwritten if exporting a PSF file. You can use the Open Results button on the browser to load this database and view the signals contained within. Different analysis and simulation runs give rise to different types of results. The display type of the graph is determined by the type of data that is in the simulation database. Different display types are used to represent different data types. Transient and DC are mostly straightforward rectangular graph types, whereas things could be different for AC analysis as complex data values need to be represented. In the browser, you can use different display types such as rectangular, which is the default for DC sweep and transient. You can use the polar, and this coordinate system is used to represent complex data values in AC analysis. Admittance and impedance provides a direct graphical representation of the complex reflection coefficient in the complex plane used to reveal the complex impedance anywhere along a line. Smith charts are an example. You can use real versus imaginary, and this is available only for AC data to plot the real part compared to the imaginary part. When you perform an AC analysis to display complex values, additional display types of default, polar, impedance, and admittance are added to the results browser assistant. The main display type options in the graph menu do not change, only the browser modifies itself to show the new options available. Real versus imaginary is useful during AC analysis and displaying RF data. It is available only for these analyses. You can specify the display type for a complex AC analysis in the form of Smith charts or polar plots. When you access the AC analysis folder in the browser, the assistant is modified to display two drop-down menus for the display type and graph modifier. You can see the examples on the slide. For instance, to create a polar plot, you would select polar, and to create a Smith chart, you would select either impedance or admittance from the display type.